Happy New Year, guys. Aren't you guys so excited? It's a new year. There's so much possibilities. This year is going to be lit. I promise it's going to be lit. And if it's not lit, just see it as a learning experience. But I'm sure and I'm praying and I'm hoping that this year for you guys, my beautiful viewers and subscribers, will be full of success, joy, whatever it is you're looking for in 2018. I pray that you get it in Jesus' name. Amen. I want to thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for your comments. If you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, thank you for coming to my channel. I hope you learned a thing or two. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you can always be notified when I have a new video. Anyways, moving on. Today I'm going to be talking about probably one of the most asked questions I get ever. Like, it's probably the most asked questions I get is, how do I join the US Army as an immigrant? So if you are an immigrant from another country and you want to join the United States Army, this video is for you. You probably want to watch this video and jot some things down, because this is going to be a lot of information I'm going to be passing out. I'm going to try to make it brief, but there's so much information. So there'll probably be a part 2, so you probably don't want to look out for the part 2. So enjoy. The first question people ask me is, Omotosho, Toyin, Faith, or whatever people call me, Omo, how do I join the United States Army? The first question, and the only question, well, the first question I have to ask, the first question you have to answer and research is, are you a US citizen or do you have a green card? If the answer is no to both of those questions, I'm sorry, you cannot join the United States Army. There's no exceptions, there's no waivers. I have asked like different recruiters if there's like an exception to that, but there's no exception. I was told that there was a program like 5-6 years ago, some program that could, you know, exempt you from having a United States citizenship or a green card, but they scrapped that. So the first question is, you cannot join the United States military, the Air Force, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, if you do not have a green card or a United States citizenship. If you're not a citizen of the United States. Okay, now that that is out of the clear, if you're still watching, you either have the citizenship or the green card. The thing you want to do is go ahead and go to a recruiting station. They have recruiting stations everywhere in the United States. For every state, every county, there's like recruiters. You Google the nearest recruiter to my area and something will pop up. Before you walk to the recruiter's office, you probably want to do some research of your own. I always advise that if you know somebody in the military already, you need to contact them and tell them of your plan, right, to join the army, so you have like an insider information about everything, because recruiters can be really shady. It's sad to say, but they have a quota and they have to meet a quota, so they will say anything to sell anything to you. But you want to go informed. You want to go into that office informed. Like, I wish I had that. I wish I was informed. I try to be informed, but no, you need somebody in there that would answer all your questions. So if the recruiter tries to sell something to you, like a job or like a contract, you know your plans, if your plans align with what the recruiters are trying to sell to you. So when you get to the recruiter station, if you're from a different country, you want to have like all your certifications, all your, if you have gone to school, you want to have all your, you know, transcripts in hand. You want to have your green card paper, whatever it is that green card holders have. And if you're a citizen, you want to have your birth certificate or something that shows that you're a citizen of the United States. You want to have all of that. And so when you get to the recruiting station, the first thing you have to do is take the ASVAB. So the ASVAB is an exam that you have to study. It's not hard, but I would suggest that you study for the ASVAB, because that's the first thing. Like, the recruiters will ask you all these questions, the first question they'll ask you is, are you a citizen? Do you have a green card? If all of that is done, you don't have a criminal record, you don't have like physical disabilities and stuff like that, the next thing they will start talking about is the ASVAB. So don't be in a rush. You need to study for the ASVAB, because what they don't tell you is you can get a decent amount on your ASVAB, because the minimum you can get is 30%, and 30 is really low. But what they don't tell you is your GT score. It would be better if your GT score is over 110, right? They don't tell you that. So you get maybe like a 50 or a 60% and you think you're good, because they tell you you're good. That's a pass mark. But later in life, if you decide to make the army a career, or down like your career lane, like opportunities that will be available to you, you won't be able to take advantage of it because your GT score is not over 110. So you would eventually have to take it again. So my advice is study for the ASVAB, take it seriously, you know, do the exam, study, go to the library. If you have like an iPhone, the questions are on the you find like apps on the App Store for the ASVAB. Check the internet, you can check on Amazon, but just go to the library. If there's a library beside you, free book. Study, it's not hard. Then when that's done, when you get your results, you always get it like the day you take your exam. You get the result the same day. So depending on what you get, right, depends on the job. So a lot of things depends on the kind of jobs you get, right? If you have a green card, your jobs are limited because you don't have a security clearance. So they don't give you the high brow jobs, they don't give you the better jobs. You don't get the medical jobs, you don't get the paralegal jobs, you don't get there are a lot of jobs that will not be available to you, honestly, if you have a green card. But if you are an American citizen, as long as your score is high, your ASVAB score is high, like they have like line scores. So as long as your line scores are high, you should be eligible for most of the jobs if there are available classes for those jobs. Are you getting me? I feel like I'm not explaining myself properly, but yeah, I hope you understand. So a lot of things affect your job. So the recruiter gives you a list of jobs, right? You have to, don't be in a rush. No matter what the recruiter says, this is your life. You don't want to be stuck doing a job that you detest, right? They will try to lure you with like bonus, but if you're about the money, like a lot of things determine, you know, your response to your recruiter. If you're just joining the army to get money and they tell you, oh, there's a cook, to be a cook there's like a $50,000 bonus. If you don't mind being a cook because of the money, yeah, take it. Like it all depends on you. But if you don't want to be stuck doing a job that you don't like, you know, like me, I was offered like some jobs for some bonus, but I was like, I want to make the army a career, so I want to be doing something that is at least like going from being a lawyer. I don't want to go to being a cook. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a cook, but I just didn't think it was up to me, and I don't like washing dishes. So I was like, no, even if you're giving me $100,000 bonus, I don't want to be a cook because I'll be miserable. So it depends on what you plan to do with the army, right? So they ask you, do you want to be active, component, National Guard, or reserve? If you guys want me to talk about all of this like in total details that you can find on the internet, let me know and I'll do it. But these are things that, you know, if you want to join the army, you should already be tracking or be able to research. So after that, then after you've picked your job, you sign your contract. And another thing is you want to look out for the amount of years that you're signing for. So the minimum is usually 3 years for active duty. I don't know about National Guard and reserve because I'm active duty, but I know for a fact that the minimum amount of years you can serve is 3 years. The maximum can be 8 years. I signed for 6 years. If I had known better, if I know now what I know, no, if I knew then what I knew now, no. If I knew, wait, rewind. If I knew then what I know now, okay. If I knew then what I know now, I would have picked a job, number one, that had a bonus. Really, I would have picked like a fairly good job that had a bonus. Trust me, you want to come into the army with a bonus, they give you like a fat check, so your account is looking lit. If I had known then what I know now, I would have gotten a job that had a bonus. I would have not enlisted for 6 years. I would have done at least 3 or 4 years. 6 years is a long time. What else? I wouldn't have been so like stuck up on like, oh, how important the job is, because even now my job is supposed to be like a good job, but I don't even do my job. Like, it's a long story, but like I feel like I wouldn't have been that uptight when I was going into the recruiter's office if I had more information about what I was getting myself into. Well, so I would advise you, my personal advice is get a job that has a bonus. There are some pretty decent jobs that have bonuses. Don't sign for 6 years. Why do I say that? Because you can enlist for 3 years and there's something called re-enlistment. So after your 3 years, the army wants you to stay in, so they give you another bonus to re-enlist. So now I have battle buddies that they've re-enlisted and they've gotten like $20,000, but I have 6 years, so I have 6 years for me to even have that opportunity to re-enlist and get that bulk sum of money. That's too long. 6 years is a long time not to get extra money when people are getting, you know, extra money. So people ugh, I don't want to overemphasize it, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, what else do I want to say? So you sign, you get your job, then depending on if there's like an open class for your job, you pick your job, you sign, you go for your physicals. In the physicals, they're just gonna do like eye test, ear test, blood work, if you're flat-footed or something like that. It's not really bad. It's not really bad. Just if you're a female, make sure you're not pregnant. Because on the day of my medicals, like 3 girls found out that they were pregnant, and you can join the army right then if you're pregnant, because you can't go to basic pregnant. So if you're a female, make sure you're not pregnant. If you're a guy, make sure you have no broken bones or whatever. Like the medicals is not hard. It's just if you're in physical fitness, if you're physically fit, then you're good to go. Then they give you the time for you to ship to basic. So beforehand, you know where you're doing your basic. For army, there are, I think, 4 basic training stations. I know there's Fort Jackson in South Carolina, there's Fort Benning in Georgia, there's Fort Sill in Oklahoma. Those are the only 3 places I know. There's probably more, but those are the only 3 places I'm tracking for now. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can only remember 3. So one of those places is where you're going to go to. Basic training usually lasts for like 12 weeks. This is going to be in another video. Basic training was a whole thing of its own. If you guys want me to do a video, let me know. And if you don't let me know, I will still do a video, because somebody will need it eventually, and that's what this channel is for people that need the knowledge about the army. I don't know, I'm so happy. I don't know why I'm happy I'm doing this video. Anyways, I think that's it. There's more. There is more. There's more. So you know what, I'm going to do a second video. I'm going to do a part 2 that'll be really short, to just cover up the things that I've missed, but there is more. So thank you, and watch out for my next part, for the part 2 of this video. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something from it, if you have more knowledge because of this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you're notified every time I post a video. All right, thank you. Bye.